Former NFL offensive lineman, now NFL Network analyst Brian Baldinger with Armen and Levack on 104.5 The Team, your home for New York sports. Baldy, thanks for being here with us. Last time you and I caught up was at the Super Bowl here in New York City in 2011, and we immediately, think of you a lot of times at that pinky. You have had the most infamous pinky in all of sports, and now JPP, I guess, is trying to get that award right there next to you.
Well, listen, my pinky and JPP's amputated index finger are totally different injuries. Totally. I mean, you could amputate my finger, I could have still played. I mean, I taped my last two fingers together, and I was fine. I learned how to hold it a different way. This injury to JPP is absolutely one of the most tragic things I've ever heard of. And I've said it from the day I heard it was amputated, that this is going to be extremely difficult to ever come close to playing at football again. He might play, but I don't believe he'll ever be an effective player again.
Baldy, is that because of the hand fights with the offensive line, or the way he's going to have to change his stance?
Well, no, the stance, I mean, you can take off. You can get in a three-point stance with your left hand down, your right hand down. That's not going to change. But everything is with your hands. Grip, grabbing, controlling the offensive lineman, shedding, a running back. Everything is with your hand. And if you simply have that, I mean, if you're just looking at your right hand right now, and you look at that gap between your middle finger, your middle victory finger, and your thumb, there's nothing there. You're just going to lose a minimum of 50% of your grip strength. It's literally what players go through when they put a club on their hand, when they break their thumb or navicular bone, and they're playing with one hand. He's literally going to play with one hand. And I don't see how in the world he can ever be. Maybe he can get by because he's still a talented athlete that can move, but he's not going to be anywhere near a dominant player ever again.
Brian Baldinger with Armen and Levack on 104.5 The Team. Wow. I mean, I'm looking at it, Baldy. There's no way. I mean, the doctors, you have all these doctors chiming in saying that was the one finger that you can afford to lose. You don't feel like with the four fingers remaining, you can get the grip that's needed at that position at all.
No. I mean,
wow.
Just take your middle finger out right now and just try to grab anything and hang on to it. You just can't hang on to it. It's going to put greater stress on your thumb and your other really three fingers. I just don't think it's just too important to what you do. The only other finger that would be more important would be the thumb. We all know that basically separates us in the food chain is what the thumb can do. So I think that's a huge issue. Look, the Giants are being awfully patient. They're saying all the right things. They're the Giants. They do those things. JPP is scared to death. He's reticent. He's quiet. He's not conforming right now because he doesn't really know. And ultimately, nobody's going to know until you can put him on the practice field and see what he can and cannot do, and he's not going to be able to do a lot.
Baldy's a guy who went out there and played for 12 years in the pros. How do you look at a guy like JPP and go, why did you take so long to just even talk to anybody on the team?
Well, I've just put myself in JPP's place. I mean, it's a combination of being embarrassed, okay, self-inflicted wounds. That's not good. It's not healthy. It's being scared. You're losing a finger. I don't know. It's not a tip of a finger. It's not like you've got a nub. It's not like you got a little bit of a finger. From my understanding, it's amputated from the knuckle down. There's nothing there. That's my understanding. Now, I might be wrong. So maybe a lot of these things I'm saying are wrong. But that's my understanding is he's got no index finger. So he's scared to death. I've just blown an opportunity to make $60 million. I've probably, if they find out how bad this is, I've probably blown the opportunity to make the $15 million I was talked about having this year. And I might not ever be an effective football player again and may never be able to earn a living playing football again. I think all of that is contributing to what he's thinking about with the Giants. And sometimes if you just go underground, at least the reality maybe is suspended. The truth isn't, but maybe the reality of what you're facing, can be suspended.
So not being around the team, not communicating with them at the fullest, in your opinion, as you said, you've been in the NFL. If you put yourself in his shoes, has he handled parts of the situation incorrectly?
Well, I mean, I don't blame the kid. I really don't. I mean, I don't care who you are, JPP. I don't care what your character says about you. This is a scary thing. It's extremely valuable. It's an embarrassing situation. Everybody has basically criticized him. How could you fool with fire? Well, people play with fireworks. You never do fireworks expecting that you're going to blow your finger off. Nobody does. Look, 2 football players had it done the same day. Like all of this, he's not a bad teammate. I don't know if he's handling it wrong. It's just he doesn't know how to handle it. Nobody's equipped to handle what has happened to him. I really empathize with him a great deal. It doesn't make it right or wrong or worth having that conversation. He's got a serious critical issue that he's got to deal with, in addition to all the other burns and all the other conditions that went into the accident.
NFL Network analyst Brian Baldinger, enlightening stuff with Armen and Levack on 104.5 The Team.
Baldy, I know nobody really wants to talk about this story anymore, but should Tom Brady miss any games this season?
I don't think so, because I don't think there's any evidence there to say they did anything wrong. And so I've been on his side. I don't want to hear about cell phones. You know, there's nobody that says that he told people to take air out of the footballs. He's going to go to court. He's going to be under oath. He's going to be asked all these questions, I guess, again. I don't know what's going to happen. This whole thing could have been avoided. It's all unnecessary. I don't know. Tom Brady pays your salary, and he pays my salary. We exist because we basically cover the star athletes in the star game. Tom Brady pays my salary. Why would I look the gift horse in the mouth and spend 6 months trying to take him down over air pressure? I just don't. I'm on that side of this whole argument. Like, why could somebody from Indianapolis or from Baltimore tell the league, and the league says, we've got some evidence here, guys, of you doctoring these footballs. Like, cut it out, or we're going to have to fine you or suspend you. They could have done that. Instead, they try to create a sting operation where they're going to measure these footballs before a game and at halftime of a game when they've never done it before, and we're going to catch the Patriots red-handed. And they screwed it up. And so part of this is the league looking bad, and part of this is the league, having to deal with this now. I just think it was preventable. It's unnecessary, and I really don't know what's going to happen in the court of New York here.
NFL Network analyst Brian Baldinger with Armen and Levack on 104.5 The Team. If you're a general manager, are you interested in signing Ray Rice on your team?
Well, I just depend. Not really. No, I mean, I'm all for giving Ray Rice a second chance, but there's going to be a great deal of that's going to come with giving him a second chance. There's going to be a lot of questions that have to be answered. Nobody wants to deal with those questions when you're in the second week of training camp, first week of training camp. Nobody wants to deal with that. You're going to have to deal with it. It's coming. And then secondly, when we last saw Ray in 2013, he wasn't a good player. The Ravens were a bad running football team. Now, was that because Juan Castillo was the new offensive line coach? Was that because Matt Burke was no longer there? Was that because, they had Gino Gradkowski playing center and rookies playing and they just weren't good? But Bernard Pierce was bad. Ray Rice was bad. Everybody they put back there was bad. So is it worth taking a guy that may have fallen off the end of being a productive player and was on the downside of his career? Is it worth taking a risk on that guy and having to answer all those questions that are coming for a running back that maybe you've got 4 or 5 guys on your team that might suffice to be able to fill that role at Houston, wherever else they need running backs right now, if that's the case. I mean, there is no other guy out there the way Houston just, lost Aaron Foster. Aaron Foster isn't on the sidelines waiting to come in.
Baldy, you were an offensive lineman for the Cowboys. Now when you look at the present-day Cowboys, speaking of running backs, do you agree with their philosophy that the offensive line is so good that you can bring in a Darren McFadden or anyone else and still be productive in the run game?
No, it's silly. And I criticized the Cowboys when they didn't draft a running back, and I criticized the Cowboys when they said the answer was Darren McFadden. He'll never stay healthy. He's never been able to stay healthy, and he hasn't averaged 4 yards a carry in over 3 years. I mean, the game is long past him by. Just watch Joseph Randle, watch his 51 runs last year, and watch when he got his yards and the plays that he got his yards. And then watch the 29 of the 59 runs where he couldn't gain more than 3 yards a carry. They didn't answer the problem. It's still there. It's the biggest reason why the Cowboys will go backwards this year.
Wow. NFL Network analyst Brian Baldinger with Armen and Levack. Brian, Eric Flowers, his first year left tackle as a rookie. How difficult is that?
Well, it was going to be difficult for Eric to play, period. I love Eric Flowers because I know he's passionate. He's got incredible natural size, strength, speed, quickness. I mean, there's not many guys, like George Young used to say, walking around the planet that look like Eric Flowers. But his technique stinks. And Pat Flaherty, the offense line coach, has got to correct these flaws in his technique. Otherwise, he's going to get an awful lot of holding calls, and he's going to hold up the offense. I don't know how quickly he can change the mechanics in his game. He's going to be, eventually, I believe, if he changes the mechanics, if he can change them, he's going to be a very good left tackle, I believe. There's no reason why he can't be a good left tackle. He wants to be good. He's not a dog. He doesn't want to get a big paycheck and just go, hang out at McDonald's. He doesn't want to do that. He wants to be good. And I believe he wants to be good. But, man, he grabs everything. He doesn't punch anything. He's got changes that have to be made yesterday. And if he could do that, the Giants, they know he's got a good player. I believe he could play right tackle. It changed, when Will Beatty got hurt, that opportunity to play Eric at right and move the right tackle inside. I mean, all that, is sort of thwarted. So Eric's got to hold up right now. They don't really have a good option out there. Don't give me Marshall Newhouse or Jake Long or anybody. He's their best option. He just has to change his mechanics in a hurry.
Baldy, when you look at the AFC East, who has a better chance between the Buffalo Bills or the New York Jets?
I like them both, but I think the Jets have a better chance. I love what they've done defensively. They should be a dominant defense. They're not going to give up a lot of points. I don't believe they will. You keep, the points to 17 points or lower, got a chance to win every game. That's huge. And look, it's on Geno at this point. I watched them on Sunday out there. I watched Revis and Brandon Marshall go at it like period after period. I would have paid a heavy price of admission to go watch that. It was great. They've plugged a lot of holes. It's Todd Bowles' job to build this thing into a team, create a toughness that can overcome adversity, and it's up to Geno to develop. And if they do those things, the Jets will be in the playoffs.
Brian Baldinger of the NFL Network. He is on many shows all over the network, including Inside Training Camp right now. Baldy, tell us about the schedule that you have coming up. I know today's your day off, and going forward, where we can see you and what camps you'll be at for Inside Training Camp.
Yeah, I still got Denver to go to. I got an NFL seminar out in L.A. to get to. I've got to get to Baltimore still. There's a lot of football to be had here. We still got a lot of football to cover at training camps, plus a Fox football seminar out in Los Angeles that I got to attend. So I'm on the move here, guys, and there's no slowing us down at this point.
What's been your favorite story from training camp so far this year?
I loved watching Revis and Marshall go at it. I loved it. It was really good. But, watching the Pittsburgh Steelers' potential for offense get going that could be as good as there is in the league this year. They've got everything in place. So they're going to be a fun team, a different type of Steeler team to really cover. So I'm anxious to watch the Steelers go play. But it's all fun for me because everybody's got a new staff, a new team in some way. They're trying to build their team with new players. I mean, it's all exciting to me.
Baldy, what's your biggest takeaway from this Hall of Fame induction ceremony and this class that's going into the Hall of Fame this weekend?
I don't like to rank any of these players. They all got elected to the Hall, including Bill Polian and Ron Wolf, who were great general managers that built great programs, that found great coaches and built coaching trees the way Ron Wolf did in Green Bay and Bill Polian did throughout his career, Buffalo, Carolina, Indianapolis. They're all deserving. All their speeches are different. I enjoy induction Saturday in ceremonies, and I would like to watch each one of them independent because they're all separate stories.
Brian Baldinger of the NFL Network. Great stuff from him today. Baldy, thank you so much, man. This was a ton of fun.
All right, my guys. Anytime. Enjoy the season, and give me a call anytime.